Can masturbation reverse the aging process? Many people might be curious when this topic comes up. Didn't adults always tell us from a young age that it was a bad habit, something we shouldn't do? So why, by the time we reach 60, does it become a health-boosting habit? This may surprise you or even make you feel embarrassed, but don't rush to react. This isn't a headline designed to shock, it's a truth that science is gradually uncovering and proving. So, what has made such a simple act a secret weapon for protecting health in older adults? In this article, we will take a deeper look into the connection between masturbation and the aging process from both male and female perspectives. Let's explore how a private activity, often considered delicate or even taboo, can offer clear physical and mental benefits to those in middle age and beyond, while also dispelling some common misconceptions surrounding this topic. To start, let's look at the physiological reactions that take place in the body when someone engages in masturbation. When stimulated, the body enters a state of readiness for orgasm. Heart rate increases, breathing becomes rapid, and blood flow intensifies. The muscles around the genital area also begin to contract as excitement peaks, culminating in a burst of sensation. Orgasm, a short yet intense and satisfying experience. At that moment, the brain functions as if it's throwing a chemical party, releasing a series of neurotransmitters that bring relaxation and comfort. Among them, dopamine makes us feel happy and fulfilled. Oxytocin provides a sense of closeness and intimacy, and endorphins act as a natural painkiller, allowing the body to bask in a peaceful, pleasant feeling. Especially, these chemicals have the ability to reduce stress. Cortisol, the hormone responsible for the stress response, is regulated effectively, helping individuals feel more at ease after reaching orgasm. This is why many people view masturbation as an effective way to relieve stress. Interestingly, the orgasm experience during masturbation differs between men and women. For men, orgasm is typically associated with ejaculation. At this point, semen is released from the body, followed by a feeling of fatigue and drowsiness, a completely normal physiological phenomenon. After reaching orgasm, the body enters a recovery phase, and the increase in the hormone prolactin makes many men easily fall asleep right after. On the other hand, women do not undergo ejaculation, but can still experience intense waves of sensation throughout the body during orgasm. Compared to men, women tend to recover more quickly after each orgasm. With good health and sustained arousal, some women can even experience multiple orgasms within a short period of time, a phenomenon that not only surprises men but also often sparks a bit of envy. Beyond the physiological aspects, masturbation also has significant psychological benefits. When practiced in moderation, this act not only satisfies personal sexual needs, but also creates a sense of control over one's body and the ability to experience pleasure. Taking time to explore and understand oneself in this way can help individuals gain a better understanding of their personal sexual preferences, leading to greater confidence when expressing desires in relationships. Moreover, the comfort and relaxation during masturbation help alleviate stress and temporarily soothe worries in daily life. Mr. John, 65 years old, from Taipei, shared that since his wife passed away 2 years ago, he had felt very lonely and depressed. However, he had no intention of finding a new partner because he wanted to honor his late wife, and he felt he was too old. The inability to engage in sexual activities, even though he still had desires, made him feel incredibly frustrated and uncomfortable. He also refrained from masturbation, fearing it might affect his health. However, after discussing with his grandson, a doctor, he completely let go of this concern and started masturbating regularly, 2 to 3 times a week. As a result, he found himself feeling more mentally at ease, physically healthier, and even sleeping better. Not only Mr. John, but many others have also realized that the feeling of drowsiness after reaching orgasm can indeed help them fall asleep more easily. For those in middle and older age who often struggle with insomnia, this could be considered a natural sleeping pill without the need for pharmaceutical intervention. Therefore, many people humorously claim that masturbation is the cheapest and most effective sedative known to humankind. However, due to long-standing societal and cultural biases, many still feel hesitant or embarrassed to openly discuss this topic. You may have experienced similar mental conflicts during your younger years. On one hand, secretly enjoying the pleasure, but on the other hand, worried about whether the act might negatively affect your health or if others would find out. This feeling of shame doesn't actually stem from the act itself, but rather from outdated beliefs deeply embedded in people's minds. However, reliable scientific studies have shown that when practiced in moderation, masturbation is completely harmless to both physical and mental health. In other words, the rumors that have caused confusion for many, such as masturbation leading to hair loss or diminished intelligence, lack clear scientific foundation. For example, hair loss is primarily caused by genetic factors and the influence of androgen hormones, not directly related to masturbation. Meanwhile, the issue of deteriorating vision is more closely linked to age and habits related to eye usage, such as frequently staring at screens for extended periods. Those who need glasses should not blame their youthful habits for this. Symptoms like back pain, knee soreness, or general body weakness are mostly a result of natural aging or unhealthy lifestyles accumulated over time. It is unfair to blame a few instances of masturbation from the past for these issues. In fact, masturbation is a natural and instinctual behavior in humans. Statistics show that most men and more than half of women have experienced masturbation at least once in their lives. Not only humans, but scientists have also discovered that certain animal species, such as dolphins and chimpanzees, engage in self-stimulation to achieve pleasure. This indicates that the drive to seek sexual pleasure is a natural part of life, an instinct given to us by nature. Therefore, there is no need to feel embarrassed or consider it something shameful or abnormal. Since it is a common and natural phenomenon, it is entirely appropriate to view it in a comfortable and scientific manner. The relationship between masturbation and aging is truly an interesting topic, and it is increasingly receiving more attention from scientific research. Although masturbation has long been viewed negatively in many cultures, there is growing evidence proving that this behavior can offer various health benefits, especially for those in middle and old age. Reducing stress and its effect on cortisol. Stress is one of the primary factors accelerating the aging process. When the body faces prolonged stress, cortisol, the stress hormone, is produced in large amounts, leading to sleep disturbances, increased blood pressure, and negative effects on the immune system. Masturbation, when reaching orgasm, helps lower cortisol levels, providing a sense of relaxation and well-being. It is a natural method to relieve stress, thus protecting the body from the harmful effects of prolonged stress. Enhancing the immune system. Several studies have shown that masturbation can boost the immune system, one of the systems most susceptible to weakening with age. Orgasmic pleasure helps activate protective factors in the body, including increasing the activity of white blood cells, which aid in fighting off illness. This is crucial for older adults, as their immune systems tend to weaken and become more vulnerable. Benefits for cardiovascular health. Another benefit of masturbation is its positive impact on heart health. While masturbation cannot replace exercise, it does increase heart rate and blood pressure for a short period, similar to a mild workout. Particularly for middle-aged and older adults, maintaining sexual activity, including a masturbation, can help keep the heart and lungs healthy and reduce the risk of heart disease. Supporting sleep. Reaching orgasm after masturbation not only reduces stress, but can also improve sleep, an issue many older adults face. The sense of relaxation following orgasm can make it easier for older adults to fall asleep and enjoy deeper, more restorative sleep, thereby improving both mental and physical health. Self-exploration and confidence. Masturbation is also a method of self-exploration and achieving pleasure. For older adults, when regular sexual activity may not be an option, masturbation can serve as a way to maintain a connection with sexual pleasure while preserving self-confidence and comfort with one's body. Reducing the risk of sexual issues. Masturbation can help maintain the health of sexual organs and prevent issues such as erectile dysfunction in men or low sexual desire in women. When sexual needs are not met, these problems can worsen over time. Therefore, masturbation helps maintain sexual function, especially when sexual intercourse is not an option. In conclusion, masturbation is not only a normal physiological activity, but also provides numerous health benefits, especially for older adults. It helps reduce stress, improve the immune system, maintain cardiovascular health, support sleep, and preserve self-confidence about one's body. Most importantly, engaging in masturbation in moderation can be an essential part of self-care for individuals over the age of 60. Some studies have shown that a regular sex life can contribute to reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. Of course, for those who are undergoing treatment for cardiovascular disease, returning to sexual activity should be guided by a doctor's advice. However, in terms of impact, masturbation is a mild, safe, and suitable form of activity for many people. When asked whether heart patients can engage in sexual activity, doctors often give an interesting and simple comparison. If you can climb 2 flights of stairs without feeling short of breath or fatigued, you can safely engage in sexual activities, including masturbation. Another concern, particularly among men, is whether masturbation has an effect on hormones. Some worry that frequent ejaculation may lower testosterone levels, causing fatigue or affecting masculinity. However, research shows that while testosterone levels may decrease slightly right after ejaculation, the hormone quickly returns to normal and does not have long-term effects. Therefore, there is no reason to fear that moderate masturbation will lead to a loss of vigor or cause fatigue in men. For women, masturbation does not cause any significant changes to key sex hormones like estrogen. On the contrary, it's worth noting that achieving orgasm during masturbation stimulates the release of positive hormones like dopamine and oxytocin, substances known to reduce stress, improve mood, and support natural and healthy aging. One more important benefit for men is the connection between masturbation and prostate health. The prostate is a part of the body that can easily experience problems as men age, from benign enlargement to the risk of cancer. Regular ejaculation, whether through sexual intercourse or masturbation, is considered a way to cleanse the prostate by expelling accumulated fluid. This is often compared to regularly changing the water in a reservoir to prevent harmful sediment buildup. In fact, a large study found that middle-aged men who ejaculated 20 or more times per month had a significantly lower risk of prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated fewer than 7 times per month. This suggests that maintaining a healthy release routine not only brings comfort, but also plays a role in disease prevention. For men over 60, when marital sex may no longer be as frequent as before, maintaining regular ejaculation through masturbation could be a smart choice to protect prostate health. Additionally, periodic sexual stimulation helps maintain the elasticity of the blood vessels in the penile corpora cavernosa, thus reducing the risk of erectile dysfunction. In summary, the organs in the human body function much like machinery. If left unused for too long, they are prone to malfunction. Therefore, occasionally, exercising the sexual organs is a useful way to maintain male physiological function naturally. Conversely, if ejaculation is withheld for too long, the body can react in several unpleasant ways, such as prostate congestion, nocturnal emissions, or feelings of discomfort and frustration. This is the body's way of signaling that it is time for release. Therefore, instead of suppressing it to the point of inconvenience or discomfort, choosing an appropriate outlet like masturbation is a reasonable and safe solution to maintain balance. For women, entering menopause often results in a decline in estrogen levels, which causes the vaginal walls to become thinner, produce less lubrication, leading to dryness and even pain during intercourse. However, engaging in sexual self-stimulation or regularly reaching orgasm can promote blood circulation in the pelvic area and increase vaginal secretion. These activities help protect vaginal tissue health, serving as a reminder that the body still needs to be active and hasn't yet retired. In fact, some gynecologists even encourage postmenopausal women to maintain a certain frequency of sexual activity or self-stimulation to prevent vaginal atrophy and narrowing due to lack of activity. During this stage, masturbation is considered a form of rehabilitation exercise, helping to maintain flexibility and sexual health in the genital area while reducing discomfort, dryness, and pain. For women over 60, when intimacy with a partner is no longer frequent or their needs are not aligned, self-care through masturbation is a practical and effective choice to maintain sexual health. Not only does this affect physical health, but maintaining sexual activity, including self-pleasure, also brings significant benefits to the brain and mental health. Studies have shown that older individuals who maintain an active sex life tend to perform better on memory and cognitive function tests. For instance, research from Coventry University in the UK found that older adults who engage in sexual activity at least once a week scored significantly higher on cognitive tests compared to those who rarely had sex. Increasingly, research and open discussions confirm that sex is not just for the young. People in their 60s or 70s can still enjoy sexual pleasure, and masturbation, with its privacy and safety, is gradually being seen more positively. In some Western countries, even sex education classes have been established for older adults to help them continue enjoying their sex lives and learn to masturbate in a healthy way. There are also now many types of sex toys specifically designed for older adults available on the market. Society's attitude toward the sexual health of older adults is also undergoing a positive shift. We are becoming more open, understanding, and empathetic toward the real needs of the elderly. Notably, many women do not begin to experience masturbation until they reach middle age or later. For them, this is an entirely new journey of self-discovery. Many of these women grew up in conservative cultures where they did not have the opportunity or freedom to fully understand their bodies when they were younger. However, after entering menopause, many women undergo both physical and perceptual changes. It is their curiosity and desire to understand themselves that encourage them to bravely explore things they once considered foreign. As a result, they not only improve their enjoyment of life, but also enhance their self-awareness. The willingness to try new experiences even at an older age, is what helps them maintain a youthful spirit and attitude toward life. A typical example is Ms. Truong, who is now 62 years old. In the past, she was quite traditional and even thought the matters related to sex, especially masturbation, had nothing to do with her. However, everything changed after she became widowed at the age of 55. Without a partner by her side, she began to pay more attention to her private needs, which had been neglected for a long time. One day, she casually attended a health seminar for older adults, where medical experts shared the benefits of maintaining sexual activity, including masturbation, in old age. At first, she was hesitant, but she decided to try a few times with caution. The results were beyond her expectations. The discomfort in her body gradually diminished, her sleep improved significantly, and her mood became lighter and happier. Mrs. Truong even humorously shared, "I wish I had known this sooner. I wouldn't have struggled with so many sleepless nights." After this experience, she realized that she wasn't abnormal or strange, but simply a healthy woman with completely natural needs. After all, healthy women have the right to enjoy happiness. In fact, studies show that older adults with a positive view of sex as an essential part of health tend to maintain sexual activity or masturbation for longer periods. In contrast, those with overly strict, conservative attitudes tend to abandon it too soon. Only when individuals dare to confront their own physiological needs openly and not be bound by outdated beliefs can middle-aged and older adults truly reap the benefits of this activity for both physical and mental health. Previously, we discussed the role of sex in health, but now it's time to address a larger aspect: longevity. A famous study conducted in the UK has shown an interesting link between the frequency of orgasm and lifespan in men. Specifically, men who frequently experience orgasm have a significantly lower mortality rate compared to those with little sexual activity. This suggests that maintaining a regular sex life, whether through intercourse or masturbation, may contribute to a longer average lifespan. Researchers believe this benefit stems from stress reduction, improved circulation, and keeping bodily functions flexible. Some media outlets have even humorously referred to this as the longevity effect of orgasm. Of course, we can't claim that masturbation alone is the determining factor for longevity, but it's clear that an active sex life is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle and is far from being something negative or shameful. Although there aren't yet large-scale studies for women like those conducted for men, we have every reason to believe the conclusions would not differ significantly. Maintaining sexual activity at a reasonable level can also help improve physical and mental health, enhancing the quality of life for women in middle age and beyond. Numerous scientific studies have confirmed that when practiced in moderation, masturbation is not only harmless, but also provides many positive benefits. However, this does not mean we can indulge without limits. Like any other activity, masturbation needs to be practiced in moderation. So, what constitutes excessive, in fact? There is no specific standard that applies to everyone, as each person has different needs, physical conditions, and lifestyles. As long as this activity doesn't interfere with daily life, doesn't cause fatigue or a loss of control, it remains within a normal range. For one person, it might be several times a week, while for another, once a month may be enough. The most important thing is that the person feels comfortable and satisfied. However, it's important to be mindful of certain physical concerns when masturbating, especially for women after menopause. If the stimulation is too intense or lacks sufficient lubrication, it could lead to a burning sensation, discomfort, or even vaginal infections. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Practice gently and slowly, and use appropriate lubricants to ensure comfort throughout the process. The use of supportive tools is also entirely acceptable and safe. For women, lubricants can greatly improve comfort, while some vibrators or massaging devices may enhance pleasure. For men who have difficulty achieving or maintaining an erection, using supportive devices like a vacuum pump to increase blood flow to the penis may be worth considering. These tools are designed not to replace, but to assist. Much like reading glasses or a walking stick, they are reliable aids that help us live healthier lives. There is nothing shameful about using tools to enhance the quality of life. There's an interesting story about this. Mr. John, who is 70 years old, had long kept his masturbation habit a secret, something even his wife was unaware of. While he maintained this as a discreet form of recreation, Mr. John often felt embarrassed and feared being ridiculed if anyone found out. One day, during a routine health checkup organized by his workplace, when the doctor inquired about his sex life, Mr. John hesitantly admitted that he occasionally took care of himself to relieve his needs. To his surprise, the doctor not only didn't scold him but smiled and reassured him, saying it was completely normal at his age. The doctor simply reminded him to be mindful of frequency and not to overdo it. The doctor's open and non-judgmental attitude made Mr. John feel relieved, and he thought to himself, if even the doctor says it's okay, why should I feel embarrassed? From that point on, he felt much more at ease and no longer carried the guilt or shame he once had. For middle-aged and older individuals living with a partner, masturbation should not be misunderstood as an act of infidelity. In fact, many older couples face a discrepancy in sexual desire. One person may still have a high libido, while the other may have lost interest due to health or psychological reasons. In such cases, the person with a higher libido can completely relieve themselves through masturbation as a way to maintain balance without harming the relationship. Masturbation, when living with a partner, does not harm the relationship. It can actually be a clever way to maintain harmony. When there is a discrepancy in sexual needs, the person with the higher desire can choose to relieve themselves, which not only helps them maintain physical and mental health, but also shows respect for their partner's feelings. Of course, it is important for both individuals to have open and honest communication to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. As long as masturbation is seen as a complement, not a replacement, for marital life, mutual understanding and respect will naturally be maintained. In some long-term relationships built on trust and openness, many older couples find intimacy through shared moments such as masturbation, caressing, or cuddling. For them, it's not just about relieving sexual tension, but also a way to strengthen their connection, affection, and mutual understanding. Sometimes I help you. You help me is the simplest and most profound way to express love and care in the later years of life. In reality, masturbation, a personal act often considered delicate and easily misunderstood, offers many positive effects on health, especially for older individuals. It doesn't weaken a person. On the contrary, it can help relieve stress, improve sleep quality, calm the nervous system, and reduce muscle tension. For men, masturbation helps lower the risk of prostate issues, while women can maintain the health of their intimate areas, avoiding dryness and discomfort. Beyond the physical benefits, masturbation brings a sense of relaxation and satisfaction. It can be seen as a simple habit that quietly serves as a health umbrella, protecting older individuals in their pursuit of maintaining a good quality of life. However, When we mention these benefits, we do not encourage indulgence. The goal is to help people approach the subject in a thoughtful and scientific way. There's no need to view masturbation negatively or with hesitation. It's simply a form of personal relaxation, much like taking a walk, doing yoga, or enjoying a favorite piece of music. If it brings you a sense of calm and comfort, it's a natural part of living a healthy life. And if you don't feel the need for it, there's no pressure to force it. The most important thing is to always be true to your feelings and learn to listen to your body in a gentle, open way. As we grow older, many things change, from our bodies to our lifestyles. But one thing that remains is the desire to live happily, healthily, and feel joy. If a small act like masturbation can contribute to that happiness and relaxation, then why not embrace it naturally? You might feel awkward at first or need a bit of courage to overcome psychological barriers, but you'll soon realize that it's simply an expression of self-love, a way to live healthily and confidently. Being honest with your body is not only a form of self-care, but also a way to show respect for life. Ultimately, there are no age limits on the journey to happiness. The best health secrets often lie in the small things we overlook. As long as you are open and scientific in listening to your body, you may uncover one of those golden secrets that help slow aging, maintain an optimistic spirit, and live a truly enjoyable and fulfilling old age.